The nation fell silent once again this November to mark Remembrance Sunday and Armistice Day. We report on why this is important and what it means to people. The Chinese President Xi Jinping visits the UK at the end of October, but what effects does this have on the two nations? The Make Your Mark ballots have been counted and the main campaign for the UK Youth Parliaments have been chosen. We reveal what was voted for later in the show. The large public celebrations have been taking place across the country on Bonfire Night. We find out whether they're safe and what they do for the community. In entertainment, the hit television show Doctor Who has toured the London XL. We bring you exclusive interviews with the host of The Fan Show. And BBC Children in Need raised over £37 million this year. Our sports correspondent George shows us what he did to raise money. And welcome to the BBC News School Report. We now go to central London for our top story.
We're here at Whitehall on Remembrance Sunday, where a memorial service to all those who have died in conflicts is about to take place. Remembrance Sunday is marked at local war memorials across the country and across the world, remembering those servicemen and women who gave their lives in honour of their country.
I think the majority of people, including myself, think it's very important because you have to remember all the world wars, the conflicts and the people that have lost their lives, people that have served, and everything to do with the military, bearing in mind that the military is, they're told what to do, they go out and do it, there's no arguments with that. And sometimes they pay the ultimate price.
It's only because of old people like me who come to these that the younger people will follow along behind. Because I think, oh well, I mean, I've been watching the young people today. They've all got their phones, different than my day, but they still come. That's what I like about it.
After the First World War, the first plant life to grow in Flanders fields were poppies. This is why these are associated with remembering those who have died in conflicts. A soldier named John McCrae made the link between the poppy and remembering those who had died in conflict in his poem In Flanders Fields. The cenotaph was originally built in 1919 as a temporary structure after World War I for a peace parade, but then in 1920 it was replaced by a permanent structure.
Because it's important to remember the people who fell for the democracy we have today. You know, and that now we enjoy a freedom that we wouldn't otherwise, and a lot of people gave their lives for it.
I think it's just remembering all the people who have died for the country and remembering people who are still fighting in other areas of the whole world and just remembering everyone that has fallen.
Today on the 11th hour, London and England fell silent to remember those who have died in all conflicts. This has been Harry, BBC News, Westminster.
Also in London, the Chinese president was welcomed on his 4-day trip, as Luke reports.
President Xi Jinping's 4-day trip to the UK has been set to lay the foundations for the UK-China relations over the next 10 years. It is the 20th of October and we are here at the Horse Guards Parade, where he's having a ceremonial welcome before travelling to Buckingham Palace for lunch later today. Then he will be addressing the MPs and meeting Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn at the House of Parliament. Over the next 5 days, events including meeting David Cameron at Downing Street, visiting Inmarsat, a global satellite communications service, and going to the University of Manchester with the Chancellor George Osborne. The Duke of Cambridge, Prince William, has already delivered a speech about the illegal selling of ivory in China. This was broadcast on Chinese state television ahead of the President's UK trip. Prince Prince William said that illegal wildlife trade cannot be justified on medical grounds, and scientific research shows that. For example, rhino horn cannot cure cancer. Steel dumping is something to be discussed in the next few days. Thousands of UK jobs in the steel industry are under threat from China cutting down the prices of steel. This has gone down by 40% a tonne in the last year.
Chinese steel is now flooding our markets, cheap Chinese steel. It's in nobody's benefit that we're pandering to them in any way or form.
UK Prime Minister David Cameron stated, "That's why we voted in favour of dumping tariffs against the Chinese, and we can do everything we can to help our steel industry." This visit is to secure businesses and trade deals, and hopefully to make Britain China's closest friend in the Western world. China looks forward to engaging with the UK in a wider range at a higher level in a greater depth, Xi Jinping said. Human rights activists blame David Cameron for turning a blind eye on abuses, but opposition leader Jeremy Corbyn wants to talk to China about human rights.
At the moment, the Chinese government are putting in prison lots of human rights lawyers, and therefore I think currently it's quite appalling, and that needs to change, and we need to protest and let them know that that's not okay, and they can't continue to do that.
What do we want? Free Tibet! When do we want it? Now!
Tibet is run by the Chinese government, but here today activists are campaigning for Tibet to be independent.
China has occupied Tibet for longer than I've been alive, and there are still people being tortured in the prisons just for supporting the Dalai Lama and for very simple things that we take for granted here.
The UK are looking to strengthen their relationship with China. Although there are huge political and economic differences between these nations, these visits will surely drive agreements forward.
Across the country, young people have been voting in the Make Your Mark ballot for the top issues they think should be debated in the UK Youth Parliament. The majority of the votes came from North East of England, with the second most coming from London. The five most voted topics were, at number 5, tackling racism and religious discrimination; at number 4, mental health; in third place, transport; second, a curriculum to prepare us for life; and the most voted topic by young people is to raise the living wage. These are spoken about in the UK Youth Parliament in a televised debate on November the 13th, and a topic voted by them to campaign for on the next year ahead is to combat racism and religious discrimination. Next, we find out whether large public firework displays are safe and what they do for the community.
Bonfire Night is celebrated around the country due to the third attempt to blow up the Houses of Parliament by Guy Fawkes on November the 5th. Many events are held, such as the one here in Danson Park. However, are they safe, and are they good for the community?
So this kind of event is very safe, rather than having all the... When I was young, it was much more dangerous with fireworks because people used to throw them about. Having something organised like this, I think it's much better, it's safer for the kids. You see much bigger and better fireworks and it doesn't cost you as much money.
In a recent year, there are over 990 incidents caused by fireworks. 494 of those were of children, and 121 happened during public displays, whereas 475 were at family displays or private ones, which just goes to show how much safer it is to go to a public display rather than your own one.
The fireworks have been a massive success since their launch 40 years ago. Last year it reached number 1 on Twitter's trending list in the UK, which goes to show its success and its involvement with the community.
Why do you and the group put on the Danson Park fireworks every year?
This is our 40th year, and basically we do it for 3 reasons. The main one is for the community, so we like everyone locally to come along with their family, with their friends, or on their own, as they wish, so they can enjoy a good, safe family evening out. Secondly, we like to raise money for our charity, which is the Welling Round Table Charitable Trust, and we then distribute that around the borough mainly, but sometimes further afield. And thirdly, it's just a case of giving a safe environment for the fireworks rather than having people having in their own back gardens and playing in the streets, etc. So we keep it all under one roof.
Danson Park fireworks are an annual event run on the 7th of November each year by Welling Round Table. The event originated 40 years ago and has been run by the charity group ever since. The event is entirely done for charity, and the profits in the past have gone towards many beneficial projects such as fitting defibrillators all around Bexley and Welling.
This is where the entire operation is controlled. Over there is St John's Ambulance, where they control health and safety and any incidents occurring in the park. And over here is the main brains of the operation.
The turnout of people for this year was expected to be around 28,000, which is an increase of last year's event, which had 25,000 people attending.
Considering it's our 40th anniversary, I think definitely our best fireworks yet. There was a couple of little misfires, but we have that every year. But overall, the fireworks are as amazing as always.
James, BBC News, Danson Park.
In entertainment, the hit television show Doctor Who has been touring at the London XL. Our editor brings you this.
It's Sunday the 15th of November and we're here at the Doctor Who Festival at the London XL. It gives fans a chance to meet other like-minded people and the stars of the hit TV show. So why are you dressing up today?
My son wanted to do cosplay and he wanted to do Matt Smith, and he said, oh come on, I don't want to do it on my own, come and join in. And I've got a natural beard for it, so we carried on from there.
Why do you enjoy coming to events like these?
People are friendly, there's a lot to see. It's good around here with all the props, and they're just telling you what's behind the scenes as well, so yeah, it's really enjoyable.
And what is the best bit about coming?
The main theatre's been really good. We just saw Peter Capaldi and Jenna Coleman.
Excellent. Why are you dressed up today at this event?
For me it was more of, I noticed there weren't a lot of female people doing doctors, so I thought I'd do something like that and do something different, because originally I've been playing like Cyber King and then River Song, but it was nice to change it up a bit and not wear a dress.
Absolutely. And how about you?
I just feel like it's a bit of fun, you know. Lots of other people do it. You feel like a star for the day, really. You get people taking photos of you, and it's a great laugh.
The production village here gives fans a chance to see how the show is made and also get to hear from the team themselves about a typical working day. The drama school gives fans a chance to get involved in audio drama, as well as advice of how to be a great voice actor, with actors such as Nicholas Briggs, who does the voice of the Daleks. So you build these Daleks. How do you do that?
We take moulds off original BBC props, and then with the moulds you can put fiberglass and resin and various materials into them, let it set after a couple of days, pull it out, start trimming it, drilling holes in it, paint it and put it together like a big jigsaw puzzle, and voila, you have a Dalek.
We spoke to Crystal D, who hosts the Doctor Who fan show on the official YouTube channel. Okay, so first of all, what does Doctor Who mean to you?
Oh, it's such a big question. I mean, how can I sum that up? So I was introduced to Doctor Who 10 years ago, and since then, you know, all of my friends, my hobbies, you know, and now my job is to do with Doctor Who. So, you know, because of that, Doctor Who just means so much. It is my life, and I'm sure it will be for years to come, and it will always be there, and I owe this show so much.
So what do you think is the best part about the Doctor Who Festival?
Oh, do you know what? For me, I think I've been to so many conventions, and I think the best thing about the Doctor Who Festival is, firstly, it's just Doctor Who. You've got so many Doctor Who fans under one roof. But also, you know, this is a great insight into behind the scenes of the show. You've got the production village over there. You've got Danny Hargreaves blowing things up. You know, showing behind the scenes of how they make, you know, various special effects. And then you've got drama schools going on here, and you've got Millennium Effects with all their squishy prosthetics and stuff. You've got costumes on display. You've got sets on display. So I think that's really fascinating.
Doctor Who means so much to me because it was part of I think for a lot of people it was part of growing up. Like, I grew up loving Doctor Who, and it inspired me to do what I do and be who I am, really. So I think that's kind of it. Doctor Who has shaped who I am. So it means absolutely everything to me, because it's what I enjoy watching. It's what I do for a living. It's like, it inspired me to write. It inspired me to be a graphic designer, looking at covers. It inspired me to be an actor. Like, everything in Doctor Who has inspired me. So it means everything.
From sets to props and costumes, fans have the chance to see what has been used in the making of the new television series, as well as a cosplay showcase for everyone dressing up as their favourite character. Jamie, BBC News, London XL.
BBC Children in Need raised over £37 million this year. Our sports correspondent George shows us what he did to raise money.
Today I'll be walking 9 miles around central London barefoot to raise awareness for children in poverty, starting right here at ITV Studios.
I would say it was a hard first half, and that's going to be second, even harder second half. I feel very dizzy, very tired. Here behind me is the BBC Television Centre, where BBC Children Need was for many years, and that is why we're here today. I'm finally here at BBC Broadcasting House, and I'm relieved that I finally made it here. The most exciting thing I'd definitely say is starting, because you have quite the adrenaline and you're quite happy that you're doing something like this.
Finally, here is the sports news.
On October 2nd, 2004, 13 amateur runners went over to Bushy Park to do the Bushy Park time trial. And over in the last 10 years, over 1 million runners have taken part, and over 540 events have been set up. One of those, Danson Park, also known as Bexley Park Run, has recently been given an award by Boris Johnson, along with Bromley Park Run, for its contribution to the community. The founder, Paul Sinton Hewitt, was given a CBE by the Queen for his contribution. He wanted parkrun to be encouraging, supportive, friendly, and for all ages and abilities, and that's exactly what he got. George, BBC News.
That's all from us, but in the meantime, keep up to date with our latest at bbc.co.uk/school report. Goodbye.